All right, now, are you going to introduce today, or am I introducing?
I think you can introduce today.
You sure? Because I don't know if I should talk first or you should talk first.
You can talk first.
All right.
It's hard to hear with all the apparatus.
All right, welcome back to... Why do I do this podcast with you? Why do I do this? This is Destination Hoth. We're two old geezers like ourselves here talk about Star Wars, sci-fi, comics, everything that we like in the world of, fantasy, sci-fi, entertainment, venues,
But
different things.
Primarily Star Wars.
Primarily Star Wars, yes. Destination Hoth, but it always goes back to Star Wars. Anything we talk about, it always goes back to Star Wars, especially because now Disney owns Star Wars. So,
well, don't you feel like almost everything that exists in sci-fi, fantasy, blah blah blah, either goes back to Star Wars, Star Trek, or Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Like everything is connected to one of those things, and Star Wars really is sort of a combination of Star Trek and Lord of the Rings. So
pretty much,
just no science. It's all fiction.
Yeah. On today's show, we're going to talk about the new TV series, The Visions. For Star Wars The Visions, I should say. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk a little bit about Obi-Wan coming out pretty soon and Boba Fett. But once again, we always like your opinion. Feel free to drop us a line. You can always hit us up on our email. That is destinationhoth@gmail.com. That's destinationhoth@gmail.com. You can follow us on our Instagram page at Destination Hoth or our Twitter. And where's that at Jedi Dave?
That is a D Hoth podcast.
So how come everything has Destination Hoth and you have D Hoth podcast?
D Hoth podcast. Okay, you want to know the honest truth?
I want to know the honest truth.
I tried to put it together.
You didn't try that hard,
and I had Destination Hoth, and it was perfect. Yeah. And I screwed up.
How did you?
And then when I went to go back to do it again, they wouldn't allow me to use the same Twitter handle.
Oh wow! So someone else has Destination. Did you ever like?
I don't think someone else has it. They just for some reason registered it as it already existed.
Yeah, so they already have it.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, because it was available when I used it the first time, and then I lost it. Yeah. No one has our cool title. We're it.
This is what I have to work with, people.
No. Daddy Rich.
Now once again, I only he's here for the good looks. So once we start doing videos,
we are looking towards making a decision on whether or not we're going to go to video or we're going to go to just strictly audio. If we go to strictly audio, then we probably will be going to another form.
Yeah.
So I know that there's been a couple people who listen to the show who actually are calling out for us to go to iTunes or Spotify or whatnot, and we are looking into doing that.
We are working on it. Yes.
Yeah.
We are.
But if anyone just people could just listen, that'd be cool. We need you.
Other than our moms.
Yeah. Other than our mom.
All right, let's get into it. It's time to get into what's new in Star Wars or anything sci-fi for today.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa.
Okay.
No. That's freaking little Tom Jones. Daddy Rich just goes into like
Did you have sugar today?
I didn't have sugar today. I've been eating grapes.
That's still sugar.
Grapes are like my ultimate snack food now.
There's still sugar. I had a coffee, so I'm a little bit wired too. All right, so we're going to talk about Destination Hoth. We are talking about Destination Hoth. We're going to talk about Obi-Wan. It's coming out next year. I think January of next year. I am not sure. It could be January or February.
Yeah, I think January, February, yeah.
I think it's around
maybe
there.
March. Hopefully COVID's not pushing anything else back.
Well, no, they just wrapped up the whole thing. I saw Hugh McGregor.
Human McGregor. Hello there, I'm Human McGregor.
I'm human. I know you're human. I'm human. I've been human all my life.
Everyone else in Scotland is Alien McGregor. That's Human McGregor.
He was just at the Emmys. And he knows that he doesn't have a beard anymore, so we know that it was wrapped up.
He won an Emmy.
He won an Emmy, yes. Yeah, it was really good. Have you watched? Did you get
Emmy
a chance to watch it?
award-winning actor, Ewan McGregor. No, I did not watch the Emmys.
It was really good. It had some great stuff. The Mandalorian was nominated for a couple Emmys.
A buttload of awards. Yeah.
WandaVision was nominated for a couple Emmys. And our actor who was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what's his name? Who's also narrating the Wonder Years, Don Chino.
Oh, Don Cheadle.
Yeah, was nominated. He was like going, why am I?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, like it was
the little
why.
It's like
It's
Don
like a
Cheadle's
small-
a good name to say. Let's just put John Chino in. So,
Well, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. I mean, like, I don't know. It's kind of weird whenever you see some award nominations. Like, I remember back in the day when like Jack Palance won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for City Slickers, and everyone's just like,
What?
What did I miss? Yeah, did I? I don't understand. I think it's weird because like with Don Cheadle, he's probably thinking, wait a minute, I'm not old. Like I still got a whole career going ahead of me. Like why are you just throwing nominations at me like I'm about to keel over or something?
It was just funny that he was kind of like, the weirdest was Conan O'Brien. He was there and just acting really intriguing, weird. He was like screaming. He was just like, woo! He was doing so, and then
was he drunk?
I don't know.
It was maybe inebriated.
I don't know. It was weird watching it.
He's not doing a show anymore, right?
No, his show. I think they either canceled or he decided just to cut it short because it was just he was on a network, like because he was originally supposed to be the Tonight Show.
Right.
Originally, it's supposed to take over the Tonight Show, and then Jay Leno came back, and he
couldn't make a decision.
Couldn't make a decision if he wanted to leave or not. And J Lo came back, and I thought he would have been great for the Tonight Show, but you know, c'est la vie, c'est la vie.
I agree. I also believe LeVar Burton would be an amazing host for Jeopardy.
Well, don't get into that now, because that guy is now like okay. So the story about LeVar Burton, everyone knows that LeVar Burton would be the best host for Jeopardy. We all know
he wants to do it.
He wants to do it.
He would be good at
everyone it. Everyone knows that he wants to do it. It's just waiting for them to sign a paper. Now, originally when they started the casting, the cast hunt to look to who's going to take over, they tried all the previous winners of Jeopardy actors. This person filled in, this person, that person, she filled in, he filled in, everyone. But everyone was always saying LeVar Burton would be the best fit for this role. Now at the end of the whole thing, one of the main producers like, let's not use anyone. I'll be the host of it. And it's like, why did you guys go through that thing? And then all of a sudden it's like, let's go be me. So after he filmed a couple of episodes, so you are going to still see him. After he he got on, there's some stuff, you know how this is a cancel culture.
Right. Yeah.
Found some stuff of what he did of an old podcast where he was a little bit more racy than he is now. And he more or less stepped down, but then he more or less left the show completely. He's not even going to be producer on the show anymore. I thought it was a complete waste of time for him to set all this up for people and then give it to himself. It's like me going, I want to see who deserved this donut right here. This is the best donut in the world. I'm going to ask everyone who wants this donut, and they will get that donut. And then at the end, you know what? The best person is me. I'm just going to eat the donut myself. It's kind of like that. So it was. I think it was.
There was like an episode of The Office with James Spader
with the best donut. Yes, there was.
Was it James Spader or some? I think it was something like that where they go through like this whole process of trying to hire somebody. Yeah, and then at the end he just picks himself. Yeah. I can't remember.
It was
maybe it was. Oh no, it was in Horrible Bosses.
Yes.
And Kevin Spacey's character, like the whole movie, like the beginning of the movie, the guy thinks he's going to get this promotion, and it's Jason Bateman. Yeah. And his character is going to get promoted, and instead he doesn't get promoted. Kevin Spacey just selects himself. Like, so there you go. Like, basically, this guy was the Kevin Spacey of Jeopardy.
He kind of was. But then,
not a cool analogy. Not
something you want to be compared to. He got where he got what he deserved at the end of the day, right? So
at the end of the like,
do I believe in the culture the thing? No, but I mean,
no. I'm you know what, you and I grew up in the same environment, which is believing in people and believing people deserve a second chance, and people should be able to redeem themselves, and people should be able to change. You know, like the whole concept of the civil rights movement in itself is to push people to change culture, to change society, to change individuals. So if you're only going to penalize them for who they were 10 years ago or 20 years ago or even a week ago, and not embrace the idea that people can still change, then what's the point of anything? Like I think that's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where like I can disagree with someone's opinion without believing that I need that person away from the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I disagreed with Gina Carano's opinion, right? Like I disagree with her decisions. I disagree with her opinion. I think some of her opinions and some of her statements are just absolutely ridiculous. But I just at the end of the day, I don't want her to crawl away and die. Like
No.
I think and I don't I remember when we originally talked about you and Gina Carano, like I agreed with Disney's decision to cancel her out
Well,
and
because
get rid
she
of her.
got so many, she got
Right,
so many
because she had
chances.
been given so many chances.
Like,
But I
literally
mean,
sat down to talk with her. It's like there's more chance than anyone get a job. you
right.
know?
But at the end of the day, like, where do we draw a line? Like, if someone had said to you, okay, like, oh, you know what, Jay, like, Daddy Rich, we don't want you to work for this company anymore because you're pro-life
Yeah.
or you're pro-choice,
Yeah.
right? That you if you were in favor of abortion and the ability for a woman to choose whether or not she gets an abortion, like, do you think what if they disagree with your opinion and now they want you fired?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, where do you draw a line? Like, we should still be free to have an opinion without it affecting our career. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like,
But
if I'm doing a show where, you know, like, I'm casting people for like a movie or a television show, and it's based in the premise of the show is to like battle against racism, and then the actor himself, like, what if Michael Fassbender, before he actually was cast for 12 Years a Slave, we found out that he actually was a former member of the Ku Klux Klan or something?
Well,
like, you wouldn't want him in that movie,
no,
right?
But you have to look at this fact. Like, now, the reason why he did get let go is because he did a podcast, and once again, where everyone does podcasts, and it was a little bit more racy, where he had comments about his co-hosts. Have you ever posed nude? Did you ever send nude photos to people? Like, the list goes on of other stuff that he talked about on the show.
You know who hasn't done that? LeVar Burton. And you know who else also doesn't have a bad track record? Mia Bialik.
Yeah.
Right. So you have two
Blossom.
people, right? Blossom. Right. So you got Mia Bialik and LeVar Burton, two people who have a clean track record. Right. They haven't said anything stupid to cost them their career, and fans love both of them.
Yeah.
So you actually might draw in a new crowd by casting either one of those people or both.
Well, I think they should do both. They can alternate. Like, it'd be 1 week with him, 1 week with her, and you have two great people that will
Talents.
take on the show. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? So that's
She's
just
like
me.
super intelligent too, eh? Like,
Oh yeah, she went to university for some college.
like,
or
she was
something.
like the only real scientist, I think, on
On Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Yeah.
All right,
She's a
so
brilliant actress. But yeah.
we get past that part. Let's get to our second part. So Obi-Wan's gonna be coming out soon for 2022. Look out for that. They just wrapped it up.
Kenobi.
And Hayden Christensen's gonna be back again. So congratulations.
Hayden, Canadian representation.
Good Canadian boy. And also coming out this year in December, it's gonna be the Book of Boba Fett coming out.
Book of Boba Fett.
So we're gonna check out for those two things that are coming out
What
soon.
if we've been waiting all along for this TV series, The Book of Boba Fett, and then December rolls around and it's just a book? It's like,
well, then this be a good read for
Boba
both
Fett.
of us. All right, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about what, Jedi Dave?
we're going to talk about Star Wars Visions.
Yes, the 9 episodes that popped up on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen it yet, we might give you a little spoilers. Not too many. We're going to try to go through this, I guess, quick enough.
I don't think you can spoil this though.
Yep.
Like, the cool thing about it's not canon, right? So, like,
Well, I don't know how they played it. It feels like some of it will be, some of it is kind of be canon.
I don't think
like
so. I mean, some of it was completely off
Where's
left
that
field.
one?
Like, there's no way that you could
The one
incorporate
that-
that into the storyline.
The one that I like, well, there's two. Like, we're going through a top 3. Let's start with the one I liked. It's
The one you like?
Well,
You only liked
I
one.
like more than one.
Daddy Rich only liked one.
What is it? It's called
That's
the
so sad.
9 Jedis. That's
Oh,
why.
the Ninth Jedi. That was
Yeah.
my favorite one.
That was
my favorite one too.
really favorite one, with the little girl who learned that she has the powers of Jedi. And the cool thing is that, okay, so the story more starts of her father making lightsabers for these Jedis that are coming to meet, because I think Jedis are in the past. There's no more Jedis out there.
Oh, see, this could
they-
actually have a spoiler. Okay, I apologize. You could spoil the story here.
Well, so okay, so I won't get.
Okay.
I can't. I won't get into it too much. Okay, so might be a little spoiler. So They were sent a message out to come to meet this Jedi who have lifesavers, because back in those lightsabers, they don't make anymore. People don't know how to make them. So Jedis are still out there, and so they're supposed to come see him, and that's where the story starts. Now the little girl was so awesome in the episode. She was just her skills with the lightsaber was amazing. I love the
voiced by Kimiko Glenn.
Yeah, I love the speeder chase. That was really cool. She was really awesome. So cool. She was like, I was like, oh, and it's just the story is amazing. So that's my take on it. What is your take on it?
Well, the ninth, okay, so I'm a huge Kurosawa fan, obviously,
yes.
Like anyone, and so a lot of the stories, a huge Kurosawa fan. Like I actually do.
Who was the director for this one? Was it Kurosawa?
Well, there's different directors for each episode and or each one, but it was produced by Kanako Shirasaki. So it's pretty cool. I think I said it right. Yeah. But I mean, the cool thing about it, all of the stories were done in Japanese originally. So there's the Japanese voice work, but you also have each story in itself, like the very first one, which was called the Duel. Yeah, so much like Yojimbo.
Oh no, whoa.
Okay, so
back to the. This is one thing you can't do with Dave. We're talking about one thing.
With the Ninth Jedi, it had a bit of a Seven Samurai kind of feel where they're kind of bringing all these people together.
Yes,
but at the same time, the storyline in itself had a lot of originality to it.
Yes,
it was very inspiring. Like every story, this is the one thing I don't know if you noticed this or not, but all 9 stories had something to do with the Jedi.
Yeah,
right. And when you think about the Jedi in itself kind of being sort of a space version of the samurai, it makes total sense that you're going to get a lot of Akira Kurosawa influences in your anime.
So, but
and of course, anime in itself.
But once again, what do you think about this episode?
It was fantastic. It's my favorite one of the group. They were all really good, but I love this one the most. Obviously, another thing too that you've got voice work with Simu Liu, who recently just came off of the success of Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
He did the English translation for Jima, Toronto native, Toronto boy.
Yeah.
Then you've got Masi who, of course, everyone knows as Hiro from Hiro. Actually, it's funny because the Japanese actor who did the voice work, his name was Hiromu.
Yeah. We also got the fact
that this guy played Hiro on Heroes was kind of funny.
We also got another actor who's from Toronto too, is Andrew Kush. Is that saying this right?
Yeah, Andrew Cashino. You were telling me that before.
Yeah, he's a Toronto rapper. He's a Toronto rapper who's now got into voice working. He did stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The list goes on. So we got a lot of Canadian boys in Star Wars. So enough respect.
Yeah, it's neat to see that kind of representation. Yeah. But I mean, so yeah, I loved it.
He also was in Clone Wars too. He did the Clone Wars. He did Jungle Book. He's been a lot of voice work too. So he's.
There's a cool plot twist with the Ninth Jedi, but I don't want to bring that up. All right. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it.
All right, so let's not get into that one. But once again, we love that one. That was one of our favorite ones. It's just, it's just a classic of the Jedi, the young Padawan, the whole story of hope, and that's why I think reason why I like it. I don't know about Dave, but that's the reason I like it.
I actually loved Ninth. They all felt like Star Wars. It was kind of weird because especially with the Ninth Bride, or the Ninth Jedi, you're sitting there watching these, and then even though they're so visually unique and different than anything you've seen in Star Wars, and then some of the storylines are, if you understand the Star Wars lore, which I assume if you're listening to this podcast you do, it's impossible for some of those things to happen, right?
So what's your second favorite?
I love the Duel, which was the very first one.
I'll let you go into Duel. What's going on with with
the Duel? It was very much like Yojimbo in the sense you have this. I keep wanting to say samurai, but this Jedi kind of
you can say
this town.
You can say samurai.
Well, sure. It's he wanders into this town, and then he ends up. There's a bandit leader who is voiced by Lucy Liu.
She was awesome.
And then that Ronin character, though. I believe is getting his own spin-off comic book or something. I'm not sure, but I've heard rumors about that character in itself.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly, but hold on.
You're looking at
a spin-off novel continuation of the Duel.
Oh.
And it's called Star Wars Visions Ronin, and it's set for release on October 12th, 2021. So
I can't wait.
I know. And so like
It's
that
such a good-
character was brilliant. And like the idea of watching lightsabers being drawn from scabbards the way that you would see a katana drawn is just amazing to watch. So like you're still kind of watching that in the Duel, where you're seeing the Ronin character voiced by Brian T, and then he's taking on Lucy Liu in this epic battle between the two of them. But I mean, like also her entire band, like gang of bandits, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But the kid was awesome in it too. The little
Oh,
the little kid there is like,
it's so
who's the
good.
leader of this? And this little kid step up. I am the leader. And we didn't like his father is in a meeting. He said, but we didn't know that his father was sick. So it was kind of cool to see that. And the droid that is an R2 unit. Was kind of cool wearing the Asian.
Oh, it was so
Asian
cool because they had the straw
there.
hat and everything.
Straw
there.
hat going on there, and it's just the whole storyline. And they had like some stormtroopers from the past that are still working for this this Sith. Now, the thing that got we will spoiler right here for the Duel is that you find out that the duelist was a Sith himself.
Right.
But the funny thing
Or
is that
had been at a different
had
time.
been a Sith at the time. Maybe he killed his master and he's on his own, or whatever happened situation. But he is, I guess, I don't know. Was it good? Was he good?
I think that's the thing, right? Like it was kind of neat because he was a
It was kind of like a Clint Eastwood.
he was a
kind of
different,
thing.
like an anti-hero.
Yeah,
right?
it was kind of
he's
like
like Wolverine or the Punisher, where
Well-
maybe he was a kind of bad in some aspects, but he's doing the right thing.
But
Or
you have to say it was like a Clint Eastwood thing where he came to the
Yeah.
small town.
Oh,
and-
well, Pale Rider,
Yeah,
High Plains Drifter, like those stories are so derivative. Like they're kind of off of Yojimbo and
Yeah.
Kurosawa films as well, right?
yeah, the spaghetti
So like,
westerns.
yeah, and I mean like Magnificent Seven is just a remake of the Seven Samurai.
yeah.
So like, and I think it's brilliant when you watch those stories, like you're seeing it in an anime format, right? Like it brings so much of an opportunity. And I said this to you too. Like I felt, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead because we want to still talk about the episodes themselves.
We guys talk about the episodes, Dave.
But I felt like Disney would be very smart to solicit short stories or scripts from fans and then select their top 10 and each year create another 10 episodes of anime based on fan fiction. Right. I mean, like, because you see how like fans want to be involved. Like that's why they get all pissed when they don't see what they want. The idea is like they can incorporate their own stories and they don't have to be grounded in the actual, it's not canon. So they can have complete creative freedom to do whatever they want.
Well,
and they can put them in.
they are still doing more anime stuff, like more. I guess
Right.
you can call it anime because there's a second. Where's my book? They still
Well,
have
wouldn't it be a fantastic idea to solicit it from fans?
Well,
to
from
get
fans,
to solicit their idea.
Yeah, but they're still doing more. I think this is good. I think this is going to be a season 1 of the series. I think they're going to bring it back next season because the reviews have been amazing on this series. Now,
And they're not long. They were like what 13 to 22 minutes
Oh,
late.
yeah.
And like, yeah.
Before we get into any more talk, let's get into the next one. The second one that we got was Loop. The Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah, the Tatooine Rhapsody. Yeah.
I liked it. Not many people
What is
did.
it? What is it called? Like my daughter knows this better. Like when they have like the anime format where the little bodies and the big heads.
I don't know.
So it was crazy to see Boba Fett.
I know.
In that format, right? But Tamir Morrison steps up. He does the voice work as well, so it's cool.
I actually liked
Bobby
it.
Moynihan.
Not many people liked it, but I thought it was a cute. So the story goes like
it was
this:
really cool.
it was a young Jedi when the Order 66 came out. He was on his own, and then he bumped into this guy who I guess was a smuggler himself, and they came together and they formed a rock band.
A band, yeah.
A band, and they're
It's so
playing. It's
cool.
like thank you very much, and they're rocking out. And then they find out that he still owed money or some sort of debt to not Boba Fett. I was gonna say Boba Fett was in it, but I mean Jabba the Hutt. So he was taken, and so they went after him. Now the cool thing is that there was one part where the kid was trying to start up his lightsaber, but his lightsaber was broken from the battle he had way back when, and he couldn't use it. So he had to try to figure another way to use the Force to help his friend. And you find out little backstories of why he wanted to help him so much because he was there when the whole thing was. The whole Jedi temple was getting massacred by everyone. He saved his life, so he wanted to save his life. So he made a deal with Jabba the Hutt to play one song before they kill him, and then they went on and this murdered the whole planet of Tatooine, and everyone's like, "Yeah, you rock!" And even Jabba the Hutt was like flicking his tail at the same time, listening to the bad. But it ended off with a positive note. And the funny thing is, you got to see where they actually performed where the pod races were before. If you remember the pod races for
right, 100%. Where Anakin wins his freedom.
Yeah, so it was a great. Not many people liked it, but I thought it was cute. It was a good little story.
Anyone who didn't like it probably hasn't watched anime before. Yeah. That's my only guess, because like that was very anime, like the whole idea of the rock band and like that stuff. Did it remind you a bit of Scott Pilgrim as well?
Yeah,
and just like and the way the Scott Pilgrim, like I believe the original artwork for the comic books or the graphic novels for Scott Pilgrim was very much little bodies and big heads and stuff too. So
no, but I mean, like it was great. Like the story, like if you actually watch the anime, like if you get past the drawing of the anime, I actually really like. It's almost like Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. Like at first I was like, I don't like the drawing, and then actually I got into the story, and it was actually really
exactly.
good. But that's my take on it. I thought it was a great story. Was it an amazing story? No, it was a good story.
And that really is the premise of anime, right? Which is to use creative different versions of animating something in order to tell an incredible story.
Yeah.
Right. Like if I look back, the very first anime I think I ever saw was Akira, which I think for most of us was probably the same thing. Like the first thing I ever saw was Akira.
Mine was Spirit Away.
Spirit Away. Oh, Miyazaki. And then you get like, and then you have like Ninja Scroll and things like that, right? Yeah. So like whenever I look back at that stuff, like there's always different forms of anime, but at the same time, it's always to tell a great story. And so to see 9 different versions of anime, and then to tell.
Speaking of 9 different versions, let's get on to number 3.
Twins.
I'll let you do this one. What you thought about
twins?
What you thought about the twins?
It was fantastic. So you have like I think Alison Brie, Neil Patrick Harris, they were doing the voices.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the thing about this story is like, did you not have a few moments where you're thinking of what could have been with Luke and Leia?
Like what if Vader,
right? Like
what if the Emperor got a hold of them?
Because if these 2 twins are being raised instead by a Sith Lord, basically, right? So you have like a very different variation of what could have happened if you like, and I felt like that was the influence there. Yeah. Anyone who didn't like this story, I mean, like is missing the boat on it, man, because it is brilliant. I love the twins. Actually, it was really good.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a great storyline. It was nice to see when he took off the helmet. He's like, Luke Skywalker, because it kind of looked like Luke Skywalker right there.
Looked like Luke Skywalker.
It was nice, like the little story of how they were worked on and try to make them the most strongest people in the galaxy, and they have a destroyed planet. But I like the whole twin kind of feel for the show. Without the little episode, because you have the twin space destroyers, you had everything is like similar, even down to the chairs were similar, but they look like the Emperor's chair almost.
For sure.
In Return of the Jedi, but I once again that was one of the ones I liked too. Was it great? But I enjoyed it. It was a nice little story. All right, next one is the Village Bride. Yes, what do you thought of that one?
Village Bride. Very pumped, actually. Like, okay, so let's just go over the cast a little bit for this one too, because you've got Karen Fukuhara.
Yes.
Who fans are going to remember her as Katana in Suicide Squad.
So true, yeah.
Right. So I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I was disappointed that she didn't just get her own movie from after Suicide Squad. So like, if I can get more of her, that's awesome. She's fantastic. And then you've got Nicole Sakura, Christopher Sean, Kerry Tagawa, who, if anyone has watched a movie in the 80s and 90s, Kerry Tagawa is a big deal.
He's one of our favorites. Like he
was in Pirates of the Caribbean. He was
also in Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Your soul is mine. I was
great actor. Great actor.
He's so cool. And then your guy there, your boy Andrew Cashino, he was also in this one as well. He did a voice. And Stephanie Shea, I believe her name is. So I mean, like, the cool thing about this story is, like, once again, a little bit of a take on The Bride, which is an old Japanese story which influenced Kill Bill and things like that. And then a little bit maybe of Sanjuro.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Yeah, let I'm trying to think which one actually, because Yojimbo might have been the one that was based on Macbeth, and then Sanjuro is something different.
Yeah. But
So
I mean,
but yeah, like a little bit of like the one with it's very much like Macbeth in that concept as well. So it's very cool.
no, but I mean, like with the storyline was about these husband and wife are trying to, I guess, on their journey, and they're on this planet was taken over by the Empire, and all that was left from this takeover was nothing much. The planet was falling apart, and
Right.
you have this Jedi who was, I guess, the one of the last Jedis out there, who was following this couple because one of her old friends told her that, "Hey, follow me, and we can find out what's going on with this couple." And you see so much. You see how the planet was spiritual, where they have a moment where they can see the flashback of when they were kids. You have a moment where it's just like the list goes on of different stuff for this episode. But I thought it was really well put together. It was a nice, charming story. And I liked it. The acting was really good in it. So that's my opinion. All right, let's move on. We talked about
Ninth Jedi. That was the fifth episode there.
To be or not to be.
It's TOB1.
I know. To be O1 or to be O1.
To be or not to be.
Wow, that was a cute one. That was
really cool cute. Too, though. Did you not get a Pinocchio vibe?
Yeah, it was Pinocchio, but also I got a Astro Boy.
Astro Boy, yes. Like right away I was thinking Astro Boy, and then I kind of Pinocchio vibe. And then of course like the idea, like it's like I think it's set after the Jedi Purge, and then like you have this droid wanting to kind of become a Jedi. But droids
could never be droids. There's no midichlorians in them.
Oh, the midichlorians. You had to go there. So midichlorians.
Yes. I love the midichlorians.
Yeah, and then there's like the aimless creator, the Professor Mitaka, and then you've got like the character also reminded me a bit. Well, I guess Edward Scissorhands is very also similar to Pinocchio in that aspect, right? Yeah. So like he wants to be a real boy, but he wants to be a Jedi. Yeah. And it's just kind of cool.
It was a nice little story. It was cute. His imagination, it was kind of cute because I think they were on Tatooine again. Because it kind of looked like a Luke, where Luke was growing up and stuff like that. So it's kind of cute to see that. But it was a great story. Like it was entertaining. It was fun. It was so fun when he came together and did it's like G-Force, or not G-Force, like Voltron, and the robot's like, "Come on to me, RD," and he tramps on and he destroyed the Inquisitor. It was really well.
Did you ever have a Voltron when you were a kid?
I had a Voltron. I had two.
I did not have. You had all the lions?
I had. Okay, so let me break down my story. So when I was a kid, I loved Voltron, right? And
every kid loved Voltron.
Voltron was my thing. I always wanted to get the lions and everything. So my mom ended up, putting some money aside, and we got it for my Christmas. And I opened all the box. I saw her packing in the way, so I was like kind of like trying to sneak the look, because they're supposed to hide the presents because your Santa Claus is coming. Because Santa Claus is real. Santa Claus is real. Donald Trump is not. So as we were saying,
if only that were true.
So Santa Claus is real. So she took the presents and she put it underneath the Christmas tree. And I was like, oh, it's Christmas morning. I got up like, woo-wee, I'm ready to go. And I got down there and opened all my presents, and there was all the Voltrons from red to green to black and everything. And I'm like, all right. And I did not even have an action figure. I was like, oh, I was so sad because I didn't have an action. She's like, oh, you're missing one more present.
Didn't they come with action figures?
No, back in those days, no. You had to buy them separately.
So the lions just you buy them separately.
Yeah, smart. They make more money off the parents.
That is true.
So it was in the corner, and she took it out, and I was like, oh, I got an action figure. I got the leader of Voltron. Open it up. It was the yellow lion driver who was not the leader of Voltron. I was like, I didn't want this. I never got
any of them.
I want a leader of Voltron. My mom had to save up for that. It was expensive back in those days.
Yeah, layaway lions.
It was layaway lions. I think she
the lions on layaway.
She told me she got it like 3 months before December. That's how much money she
oh my gosh
put away to get it. And then my dad came over and he brought me, I got your Voltron, and like this little toy of the black lion. I was like, this is not Voltron, this is the little toy.
I think like it was weird, like because I had a neighbor who had all the lions, and then like that was cool, and then like
I brought it to school for show and
huge
tell.
Robot, like when you put them all together, it was so big.
I brought it to school for
really cool.
I brought it to school for show and tell, and I remember that. Like, I'm bringing this to show and tell. Brought him to show.
That's when they all like, oh look, it's Rich J. That's where you got Daddy Rich from. It's like because you're rich.
I
Rich.
wish I. It's called Layaway J. Most of my
My
clothes
name's Poe Jedi Dave.
most of my clothes are Layaway J. Daddy Rich's A. So I was flying around. Woo! So yeah.
Going forward, our show will be Daddy Rich and Ghetto Dave.
You don't know ghetto. As I was saying, but it was fun.
You had a bit of Voltron vibe.
You get a little Voltron vibe with it.
TOB1.
That was a great one. All right, next one. It is the
Elder. That was my third favorite one. I was up there.
That was cool because it took place before. Like, I guess it was like many years in the past.
Yeah, like centuries after the death of Darth Bane.
Yeah,
I think that's what they listed it as. And then so you've got. I felt it was very much a High Republic
storyline. Yeah,
like it may have been set during the High Republic era.
Yeah, and about you have this Padawan with his master, and the Padawan's I want to get into it so badly. They come to this planet where they're having some issues, and they found out there was a Sith on that planet.
Old Sith.
So they try to find them. Now, originally they were going to sit there and watch him and see if he comes back to his ship, but the Padawan's so gung ho. He's like, "Yes, let's split up. You stay here with the ship." And I'll go hunt him down up in the hills. I have these kids to take me up the hill. And the Jedi Master's like, do you want to do this because you feel like you have more opportunity to fight if you do find him there? Or, it was kind of cool because the Jedi, he was just awesome. And it was just like, it was kind of fun because it's kind of remind me of me and Dave when we were kids. We're Jedis. We want to do this and we want to prove ourselves. So now we're old. We don't have to prove anything. So.
Yeah, because we're just Jedi. It's that simple. But yeah, so you got voice work. Who was the voice master? Taijin was David Harbour.
Ooh.
Right? So famous for Hellboy. I think Disney used up a lot of the people they already have on contract. It's like because David Harbour was in Black Widow.
Yeah.
So they're like, if you're not busy, you want to do some voice work? Right? Like Simu Liu. We just wrapped up on Shang-Chi. Want to do some voice work? Right? So I think that all the people, I'd be volunteering, now, right? Also the James Hong did the Elder, and Jordan Fisher was Dan, the Padawan.
Now, if you don't know who David Harbour, he's a sheriff in Stranger Things. They dropped their trailer for the new season. Comes out soon, so look out for that. It's all right. So, but yeah, once again, it was a really fun look at, and they use a lot of Jedi, surprisingly, in this episode. So, I mean, in the stories, but it was really well done. I was enjoying it. It was a great story. It was fun, entertaining, and it was just the fight scenes alone. It was just so cool. You know what I'm saying?
Very, very cool.
All right, your turn. What's the next one?
The next one was it Lapan Oko?
What's a Lapan Oko?
Lapan Oko, I think it was called.
Are you sure?
Something like that. Is a Lapan Oko.
Let me see.
You just read the titles, right? Because you don't get to hear the actual title.
No.
But it's during the reign of the Empire.
Lapan Oko.
And you have but I mean, the cool thing about this was the whole planet of Tau, right? So like you're seeing which obviously is a cool word, like the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, and it's like the Tao. Right, this philosophy, this idea. So, and then this whole planet had a very much a Japanese feel to it, right? So it was very cool to kind of see that. I actually felt that way when you saw Rise of Skywalker too, like the planet that they went to see Zori Bliss.
Yes,
right. That had a very Japanese feel to it. So seeing the planet of Tau, it kind of brought very much that feel, and it makes you think too, how fitting it is to kind of incorporate that whole culture into the Jedi lore, right?
Yeah.
So and then I was kind of excited because there was the one character was very rabbit-like. So you remember the Jackson character?
Yeah. That
green rabbit from I think it was from the comic books or something.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought maybe they were going to actually tie into the Jackson character, but they didn't. But that's fine. But it was really cool. It was very cool. 7 years, I think, after the Empire occupied the planet.
Yeah, so
it's really cool.
Story about this rabbit kind of character who came across this family, and she was a prisoner, and then they helped her get free, and they adopted her as a daughter and as a sister. And as you go along, you find out that after a couple of years, the Empire is there mining that planet, taking everything from it. Her father is at the point right now where he was upset. He's like, I'm done with these Empire people coming to get us. And his daughter is like, well, Daddy, you need to understand that the Empire is here for us. So he kind of set up a revolt, and he got captured, and that's where the whole story starts, where his younger daughter came in and rescued him, and he taught her about the Jedis, because people didn't know about Jedis that much. So he's talking about this Jedi, and he left the lifesaver there for her, for whoever used it and all that stuff. It's a family lifesaver, and the whole thing goes on from there. But yeah, sure. I thought it was a really good one. It was
really cool.
Really nice little sisters.
Very classic Japanese story too, with the samurai story. Like Lop, I think, was the rabbit character, and Cathcart, I think, did the voice for her. Yeah. Hiromi Dames did the voice for Akko. Yeah. Paul Nakachi and Kyle McCarley. He's like, man, you got to wrap your tongue around some cool names, man.
I know.
It doesn't make you realize like how bland and plain our names are.
Well, my name is Daddy Rich. It's never bland and plain.
So that's a cool name, but I went from a bland name to a bland name. Like it's Jedi Dave. So like, yeah, but I mean, like they like other cultures, like everywhere else in the world, they've got amazing badass names, and then we got like lame names. But yeah, like so, like they were cool. Then you get Akikiri,
the last one. I'm trying to remember that one now because it's the last one.
Let me actually, because I don't even know how to describe it. I know it was too short. I was really enjoying it so much, and I think it was like 13 minutes long. But it's like, so it's described actually the prior to the initial extinction of the Sith, a Jedi named Tsubaki, who has been suffering from visions of an unidentified individual dying in front of him, reunites with his old love. Misa, a princess who has been overthrown by her dark side wielding aunt, Masago. Very cool story, man. And that incorporated like the dyad storylines too, just like in Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi, right? So like it's just neat to see. You're right. Like it's funny because I know that they established that it's definitely not canon, but you're right. Like some of these stories could be canon because of the timelines in which they're set, right? Like they're set a long time ago or a lot like somewhere in the future, right? So like they could be somewhere in there.
Well, you're right about the whole thing where so stories about this Jedi come to help his love. Her father's empire was taken over by her aunt. Who we find out is a Sith Lord, and like you find a little bit more stuff. I don't want to ruin it for you because it feels like if we ruin it to tell the story, it'd probably take away because it's such a short story. I'd probably take away from the story, but you find out some more information about all the stuff that he sees in the future, kind of like Anakin seeing the future of what could happen because of his fears, right? And
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Because from his fear, so he was kind of hesitant to go, but he knows that this person that he cares about needs his help, and he wanted to be there for this person. So
it was really cool. The aunt that was voiced by Lorraine Toussaint, who's, if you're not familiar, is from Orange Is New Black. Yeah, Trinidadian American. So like very cool to see her doing some voice work. Keon Young, George Takei. This is not his first foray into a Japanese or to a Star Wars character. He did a voice on Clone Wars as well.
Yes, he did.
And then there's Jamie Chung. But then my boy, man, Henry Golding. Henry Golding did the voice of Tsubaki. Yeah, like I gotta tell you honestly, I don't understand. Like a lot of people are not liking Snake Eyes, but I think some people just want to be nostalgic so that they sound like real fans. Yeah. Right. But the reality is, I grew up with G.I. Joe. That was my Voltron. Like I was obsessed with G.I. Joe when I was a kid. Like I had 300 action figures. Like everything.
Wow, look how rich this guy is.
No. I had to get a job in the summer.
Wow, and stuff to look how rich you are, man. Oh,
no, I bought my own toys, man.
Yeah, right. All right, Richie Rich, okay. New names.
Okay. and then, but Henry Golding plays Snake Eyes. But I just actually like afterwards, a friend of mine from work recommended that I watched Crazy Rich Asians with him as well. Yeah, this guy's got to be huge, man. Like when you look like Henry Golding and you can act as good as Henry Golding can act, you need to be a big star. Like
Yeah.
there's like I need to see more Henry Golding work. So it was cool to see him, and then like it was kind of neat because you had said your first anime was like
Spirited Away.
Spirit Away, and like you like just the idea of watching this show like that, like this particular one was too short, like it was really good, very detailed, and it really got you, like you were watching and you were focused on it, and then they kind of just ended, right?
Yeah.
And then of course it's the last one, so you're wanting to watch them all, but it was neat that they dropped them all at once.
I like that. I
thought,
think that fit the for this storyline. Like it doesn't, it wouldn't be a, like a what if, or because it's tying everything in. They're all just different little stories, so it fit what it package. I feel like I want to watch. I watched it again. Actually, I shouldn't say I feel like I want to watch it again. I watched it again, and I still picked some more stuff, little Easter eggs here and there. So,
oh my gosh, did you see, like, I think in the Duel, which was like the first one, there's like the original Star Wars posters in the background.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
too.
so it's kind of neat. Like they're I think, like, overall, like I can't see how they could have dropped an episode a week. Like one episode's only 13 minutes long. You know what I mean? So like, how do you, like, you would be disappointed if you waited a whole week. I remember people being disappointed when like episodes of The Mandalorian were only 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So like
they'd be bitching about that. Yeah.
They would have been bitching.
Yeah,
so like there's just let's just drop them all out so people can see them. And then like there's only a few months. I gotta tell you, man, the people have their ideas of what, ever since Disney took over Star Wars. But when I was a kid, you had to wait like every 3 years for a movie.
Yeah.
Right. So you had to wait 3 years for a Star Wars project in general, and then 16 years between episodes 6 and then 1.
Yeah.
Right. And then after that, that ended in 2005, I think, was when Revenge of the Sith came out.
Yeah.
So we had to wait another 10 years before another movie came out. So like, and Disney, I mean, people can say, oh man, they're dishing them out. But when you love Star Wars as much as I do, and you do, I want to see more. I want to, like, and Star Wars Visions presented a completely different format that we had never really seen before. It was and telling stories that were not within the realm of the Skywalker saga, or you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing different ideas, and like this is really where Disney should be going with Star Wars, that their next trilogy should be set hundreds of years into the future, or hundreds of years in the past.
Yeah.
So because then you've got limitless ideas and creative freedom to be able to do whatever you want. And that's what I want to see.
Well, that's why I feel like they took on that with the whole, that one episode, the Ninth Jedi, where they took a look into the future and what if there is no Jedis out there.
Right.
So it's kind of a nice little look at the future. That technically could be a series, technically, if they decide to go on with that, where she looks for her father, or even a movie if they really wanted to get into that too.
And even in Ninth Jedi too, they also touch on the idea, like, this is actually, if you read the Ahsoka book, I think that was the first time I had seen it, by Canadian author, right? E.K. Johnson. So, but if you read that book, like, she talks about the colors of the lightsaber being determined by the person who's wielding the lightsaber.
That's nice.
So you could have a kyber crystal and put it in the lightsaber, and whatever the color of the lightsaber crystal is irrelevant. That the lightsaber wielder, their true personality, their intentions, determines the color of the lightsaber.
Yeah.
So like, and I think like they'd always touched on the idea of Mace Windu, for instance, like he had
a purple,
kind of tapped into the dark side a little bit whenever he was able to do, but he was able to control it.
What's purple? Purple is blue and red, right?
Right, exactly. There you go. And like, well, I think it was like an amethyst color, but yeah, like, and like, so then you go and like, and then with Rey having a yellow lightsaber, right? So there's like so many different things, but so like in this storyline, they talked about that again. They talked about it in Ahsoka, where she takes the lightsaber crystals from an Inquisitor that she defeats, and then she uses it to create her new lightsabers, and they create silver blades. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
So it was very cool.
All right, we're going to wrap it up right now. Once again, this is the Destination Hoth podcast. We were talking about The Visions. Great saga on Disney Plus right now. We don't get any money from Disney Plus, but once again, check out Disney Plus if you guys want to.
And also, not only that, but if you haven't checked out on Disney Plus, Golden Girls. Because
thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. Like, honestly, I gotta tell you that I've been watching this show. I went to Disney Plus for Star Wars, and now I'm like rehooked on Golden Girls because I was watching the show. Like we grew up during the heyday of sitcoms.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the sitcoms of the 70s and 80s are by far the best sitcoms.
And the 90s. There's some in the 90s too. Because
there's a few in the 90s like Fresh Prince and
Fresh
Friends.
Prince, and then you have Friends, and then you had
Frasier.
Was the Seavers 90s or late 80s? I think it was
80s,
late. No, I think it was
80s,
late 80s, early 90s. I
like
think they were
Growing Pains.
Yeah, tell me that smile again.
But like when you're watching Golden Girls, like it's such a cool story. Like I think B. Arthur is one of the most iconic funny ladies of all time. Like that show, like a lot of people loved the Estelle Getty character.
Yeah.
But when you're watching the show, like it's so sad when I'm watching it now because like all of them are gone except for Betty White.
She's the last.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's so funny, and just the one-liners that they drop and the way that they kind of jab at each other. Yeah. I think it was the very first time I'd ever watched a sitcom and heard the word bitch. Like I had never seen that before. Like because most times you had never heard the word bitch.
And the womanizing of men, like it was a reverse of sexuality. That's in even the 80s where they're like, she was like, I'm gonna sleep with this guy. I'm gonna sleep with this guy. And there was, it was. I
just actually watched an episode from the first season with Golden Girls, and her niece comes and she's like 20 and she's like shagging all these guys.
Yeah.
And Blanche pulls her aside and is like, you look like, I don't know what you're doing, but this is not the way to go. And she goes, you're in no position to criticize me because you sleep with all these guys.
Yeah.
And she goes, there is no secret that I love the company of men. That's what she said. But she goes, but I assure you that I'm with those men because I like them, not because I want them to like me. And like it's a mic drop moment where like this girl suddenly realizes like she's just being with these guys because she likes how people like her and are attracted to her or whatever, but there's no self-respect in what she's doing. No. I was blown away, man. Like it was a really good show.
That's what I mean. It was such a good show. But we will talk about the Golden Girls podcast next week. We have the Golden Girl podcast next week. Destination Golden Girls.
Guys talking about Golden Girls would be the podcast. Best podcast ever.
Episode 1, where once again, thanks very much for tuning in to Destination.
One living cast member that we can do a guest appearance with.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Destination Hoth. This once again, feel free to like us here on YouTube. Also subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends about it
and listen. And listen to our show.
Listen to the show.
We're fun, man. We're fun.
We try to be fun.
We're fun guys. We're like mushrooms.
Other than Richie Rich over here. I got all the G.I. Joes. I had one G.I. Joe. So,
oh my God! You know what happened? Quick, because I know.
Quick. Hurry up.
So I went to an orientation for grade 9 in high school, right? And some guy saw a patch on my jacket because it was a G.I. Joe patch. Yeah. And then he made a comment about, look at this guy, he's such a loser. He likes G.I. Joe. And
really?
So I was like, I was kind of feeling like maybe, going into high school, I had to have like a revamp of the things that I was into. So I took all my G.I. Joes down to the comic book store and traded them in for credit and bought comic books with the credit.
Muffin.
And to this day, like now when I look back at like some of the action figures I had, they're like $80, $90, $100, like even loose, and I'm like, that guy was a douchebag. Like, so moral of the story to end our podcast today is be yourself, have a vision, Star Wars visions of who you want to be, and be that person.
All right, before we end, what do you give the 9 out of 10 for Star Wars vision? I mean 1 out of 10.
Honestly, I give it a 9 out of 10. Honestly, like for what it's supposed to be, it's exactly what it's supposed to be, and it's fantastic.
I do agree with you. It was a great segment. Hopefully, do the second season. I give 9 out of 10 with that too. Like it's such a a great 1 out of 9.
Especially if you love anime.
Yeah.
Especially
all right.
If you love anime.
Once again, thank you for tuning in. You can follow us at our Instagram page at Destination Hoth on Instagram. Check us out there. We always have some great, unique things to talk about there. Also, you can follow us on our Twitter, and where is that at?
D Hoth Podcast.
D Hoth Podcast. And also, don't forget, you can send in if a topic for the show. All you do is go to our email. That's destinationhoth@gmail.com. I'm going to say .com. gmail.com. And once again, we ask you, please go out and try to get a shot, to get vaccinated so we can go back to being normal again.
Normal.
All right.
10,000 people at a Leaf game yesterday. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
And they all got their shots. So,
yeah.
Once again, may the force be with you. Have a great rest of your day, weekend, week, whatever you're listening to, night, whatever you want to do. Have a great Jedi. Dave, what do you have to say?
Just remember once again that we win not by hating or killing what we hate, but fighting for what we love.
Are you sure about
something
that?
like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right. Thanks very much.
It's hard to hear with all the apparatus.
Whatever. Have a great trip. Talk to you later.
Right.
Bye.
The Nick Winter Show, and I do the entertaining, thank you. Let's go out with something really hot for these folks. A big hit out of 77. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.